Welcome to Daily Life Connection. Thank you for joining me again today as we continue to explore the heart of God, to get to know His character, because that enables us to know how He responds to us, how He responds to others, and it enables us to more accurately reflect His heart to the world around us, I believe. We're going to continue in the prodigal son story, Luke chapter 15. This story is so richly full of revelations of the character of God. It's just an amazing, amazing story. Today, I want to look at the portion where it talks about the father's response to the son coming home, past the hug. After he hugs him, uh, the prodigal son then is the recipient of incredible blessing. So I want to talk a little bit about the God who restores abundantly or generously, lavishly, restores lost children. This son comes home, and the father doesn't just, welcome him back and let him work off his debt. He doesn't welcome him home and just say, okay, now you're part of the family, you can go work in the fields with your brother tomorrow. No, the very first thing this father does is he says to his servants, quick, quick. There's an urgency there about what he's about to do. And he says, bring out a robe, the best one. Bring out a robe, the best one. He doesn't just say, bring out some clean clothes for this kid. He says, bring out the most expensive clothing we have in this house. And a man of that kind of wealth, because he was a wealthy man, would have had some very fine robes, very fine clothing. And he says, quick, it's urgent. I want it done now, ASAP, no delay. I want you to bless him by putting the finest robe we have on him. I want you to get the family ring and put it on his finger. I want you to get some really fine sandals here and put them on his feet. He blesses this son, and that is a sign of being fully restored into the family. Can you imagine? Can you imagine the son's what's going through his mind and heart as he's listening to his father bless him so abundantly? I mean, he comes home thinking, my best hope, the best scenario that he could imagine was father would hire him on as a hired servant, let him live in the servants' quarters, eat the servants' food, and work on the farm and receive a wage, a daily wage, so that he could at least live a decent existence. But that's not the Father's heart. Our Father's heart is not for you and I to get by in the kingdom of God. Jesus said, I've come that you might have life and have it to the full, abundantly, lavishly, life to the full. The Father is a Father who blesses us lavishly. I don't know why we struggle with it. Well, I'm sure that probably this younger son, I'm sure it was going through his mind to say, no, 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 Father, I don't deserve this. I don't, no, no, no. But he's smart enough, doesn't argue with the Father. Why are we so dumb sometimes as Christians that we argue with God? Oh, I know I'm not worthy. I know, just a little bread would be fine for me. Why do we do that when the Father is passionate about blessing us abundantly? For us to experience His kingdom in fullness, not just the scraps, not just the outside, not just as a hired servant, but a fully blessed individual experiencing all that he has. And he says, let's get the fat calf. Let's. So, the son gets the robe, he gets the ring, he gets the sandals, and he gets this lavish celebration thrown in on top of it. All on the day he came home. All within hours of returning to the Father. No probation period, no waiting to see how he was going to turn out. The Father, I just can't emphasize this enough. Your Father's heart and my Father's heart toward us, not just some religious guru, excuse me, not just some famous preacher, but to us, the failures, the losers, the prodigals. He wants to bless us abundantly. The very end of the story, the self-righteous son, that miserable, the guy living in misery, and so the father, what's the father said? You've always been with me, and everything I have is yours. There's that blessing of the Father again. This Father will bless us not based on our performance, but in spite of it. In spite of it. No wonder we draw near to Him in our devotional times and say, thank you. I can't believe how good you are. I can't believe. I will sing of the goodness of God. You're a good, good Father, the song says. He blesses us and blesses us richly, abundantly, unconditionally, over and over and over again. Now, let me just say this in closing. If we think those blessings look like fancy cars and designer clothes and mansions, then we won't ever believe we're blessed by God. But if we understand it's the blessings of peace and joy and rest in Him and glory and significance in life and peace, and if we realize those are the blessings of the kingdom of God, then we can receive them lavishly, abundantly, unendingly, unconditionally. Not because of who we are, but because of who He is. He gives not because we deserve it, but because He's a giver, a generous, and He's urgent about it. I love that part of it, don't you? Quickly, bring the robe, the best one. Quickly, go do it. Get it done now. That's our Father. That's what He's praying for you and I today. That's what's going on in heaven over us. As the Father looks at you and me, and we let Him embrace us, He's going, quickly, get the blessings out. Get the blessings out and get it on them. Wonderful good news today. Good news today. It should make our hearts sing and our feet dance and our souls rejoice in the goodness of our God who blesses us abundantly. Well, let's think about that today, and we'll talk tomorrow.